And here we are. Welcome back to the Redshirt Sophomore Podcast, where we never sit out. I'm your host, Matthew Dawson. Today, we got joining us a special someone, and that someone is Texas A&M running back AJ DiNota. Walk on number 25. It's going to be a special conversation. If you guys enjoy this and all of our other content, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, as well as give us a follow on Spotify. So thank you. And welcome back to the Redshirt Sophomore Podcast. Here today, we have an awesome guest. Welcome, Anthony AJ DiNota, running back for the Fighting Texas Aggies, class of 2023, I believe. Right? Or sorry, 2025. What am I doing here? Yeah. You're looking at a four-time Elliott Story Frisco Pride Award winner. You're looking at a guy that's 6 foot, 203 pounds. I believe you guys made it pretty far in the high school playoffs your senior year. Over there at the old guys almost came out of regionals there. Almost made to the quarterfinals. Played H-back, stand-up defensive end in high school. This dude was a monster. He's been on the team. This is his second year now. Gosh, I am so pumped to talk to you. What is going on, man?
Nothing much. Just got out of one of the final workouts of the summer. We're about one day out from fall camp, and I'm excited to be on here. Excited to talk to you today.
Nice. Yeah. So speaking of workouts, so like when I was looking at your high school tape, you were pretty big, but when I look at you now, you're definitely a lot bigger. Now last year you were rostered at I believe it was 209, 208, but this year the SEC has you rostered at 200, right? Is that you cutting, or is that just a total misprint, or what's going on? What's
I don't really know where they got the 200 from, but so I got surgery on my shoulder, my labrum. I dislocated my shoulder a few times, and then so I dropped down to 195, but then the summer workouts and through off-season workouts, I got back up to 205. Now I'm sitting at 205, 206. But from camp, I don't know. We'll see. You never know. You might drop a little bit from just the load that camp is going to be.
Yeah, and the heat, it is heating up down in Texas. Yeah, so definitely wanted to ask you, well, on the topic of that, did you play at 200 in high school? Because I don't know, it didn't look like it.
No, I could never get to 200 in high school. I would always be right there, but then I'd just go all the way down because I was playing both ways. I was 190, 185 throughout high school, but the program here has got me a lot bigger and the workouts have been a lot better.
Right. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I would hope that the workouts are a lot better in college. So that's good to hear. That's a Texas A&M fan. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you first, about about your journey, right? Getting here in high school. You played H-back, which, people don't know. It's a pretty interesting position because you're doing a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. You're asked to carry the football. You're asked to run routes. You're asked to block at a high level. Was that something that you enjoyed doing? Or so when you were getting recruited, right? Did people recruit you as a running back or a tight end or receiver? Who were recruiting you? What was it that they were recruiting you for?
So actually I played both H-back, and then I played outside linebacker, kind of edge rusher, because I would just come off the ball and just I don't know, I just have sort of aggression, better suited for defense. So I mean they kind of were looking for, it was more of D2 schools like that, looking for a outside edge rushing guy, because that's what I would specialize in. But on offense, I did really enjoy blocking. So they threw me in for a few, I did play both ways for the most part. And I did get most of my work in on blocking at H-back that I did enjoy.
Nice. So but people recruited you as a defensive end. So that's pretty interesting. Here you are playing running back for a Division I team. Yeah. Cause I was one H-back, right? It's not a flashy position necessarily, but I'm looking Lebanon Trail. Can you tell me about that game a little bit? I believe the stat line is 8 carries for 168 yards.
Yeah, that was funny because I think it was just we had this guy that went to UT. His name's Cole Hudson. He was one of the guards that was on our team, and he would just pull every time on that, and I would just follow him throughout the whole game. Yeah, he did his work.
Did his
He
work.
he sure contributed to that.
Well, I love to hear that. I love to hear that. So then you get to Texas A&M, right? And when I knew you, right, you were watching the games from the stands,
Yeah,
right? So walk us through that. Like how is it that you ended up here where you are?
it was actually crazy. My coaches from high school were big supporters of the idea that I should pursue walking on at wherever I go. Because my thing was, I was going to go to A&M or I was going to go somewhere, but then I always had the intention or the backing of my coaches and stuff. They're like, you should walk on. Like, you could potentially make an impact wherever you're going. And then I was like, okay. So I thought about it, and I did train that year before, the whole year, like senior year going into first semester of college. And then I went to like sitting on in the stands the first semester was definitely a little I was a little fear of missing out watching the games from that first year. And then I think the Bama game solidified it because I was up in the stands and I ended up rushing the field. And then I was like, yeah, I need to find a way to get out here. And
Yeah,
then that pretty much was like that was it. And then I was like, let's go.
that's that's awesome. Because I like again when I knew you, I knew you were a stud football player. Uh, I didn't know that that was something that you were going after. So to see those, to hear that you were trying out for a team, I was like, wow, that is awesome. That was awesome. So, and what's interesting, so like running back, like when you were walking onto the team, did you know that you wanted to play running back?
Um, Not exactly. I was just gonna put like athlete down or just like wherever you needed me because I wasn't gonna be picky, right? Like if I was gonna find a spot on the team, like it would have been anywhere at that point because I just wanted to be on it so bad and see if I could make a difference. And when I got there and tried out and stuff, one of the assistant running back coaches was like, you play running back? And I was like, yeah, I do. I was like, I wasn't being picky or whatever. He was like, what do you play? You play running back at all? I'm like, yeah, sure. Yep. I play
Yeah,
running
what,
back. Yep.
whatever you say, coach.
Yeah, whatever you need.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because I was thinking, I was like H back, right? That's like a lot of tight end stuff. But you know, I mean, look, as a guy who's not 6 feet, right? You should be thankful to be 6 feet. But
Yeah.
you don't see a whole lot of 6 foot tight ends out there. There's not a whole ton of Jonnu Smiths out there, right? Playing at that size. So I think it fits you pretty well. I think it fits you pretty well. So what's like what are you looking forward to this season versus last year?
No, I think it's gonna be a whole more exciting this year than it was last year. I think this summer we've had a great culture, some great leadership and energy that just wasn't there in last year's workouts and stuff like that. And I just think you're gonna see something a whole lot more energized and more exciting to watch.
Right. And that's pretty cool. So like in terms of like the culture, right? There's not a whole lot of staff movement, right? So there was you guys have a new offensive coordinator now, right? So how does this offensive staff getting you guys ready, like to go? What's going on
Yeah.
there?
No, we're prepping. We're working hard, man. Yeah, the plays are it's getting a lot more exciting. We got a whole lot more misdirection, a whole lot more just a whole lot of more to work with this year in our toolbox. It's gonna be fun to watch.
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. So like in terms of being a student athlete, right? Obviously, you're eating that cafeteria all the time, and you're sitting at a pretty solid weight right now. But are there any other like nutrition things, like nutritional resources that the college gives you, or like custom workout plans, or are there any things of that nature that like help you get ready even in the off season?
Yeah, the staff gets us the weight staff gets us right. They have their own training program, and then when we're off on breaks, they send a training program with us that we can follow so we can still maintain um our strength and lifting and running ability. And then we have a nutrition staff that we can also talk to if we have any questions regarding like food, what foods we want to eat if we're bulking, or what foods we can eat if we're trying to get more lean or lose some weight. So it's really it's awesome. The whole like all the help we have and all the staff that's willing to help us, especially it's like guys like us. Like,
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And one thing that I think a lot of people are talking about, right, is, you know, with A-Chain gone, right, there's a lot of question marks as to like, what is the dynamic of the running back room just going to be like? Like, where the snap's going to go? Like, who's going to be playing special teams, right? Like, how does it feel like that competition? Like, is that competition like pretty awesome right now to be a part of? Like, just seeing everyone in that room just go at it.
yeah, it's great to watch, to be a part of. Like it's fun to see all those guys. It's great talents just go at it every day in practice. And you know, I mean, one day it could be this guy, one day it could be that guy, but I mean, it's a fun competition to be in the room for, to watch.
That's awesome. And then these coaches, because like I really like everything about this running back room at Texas A&M. I love every part of it. So I'm glad to hear that. Obviously, you share that optimism because you're a part of that. Um, but it feels like these coaches are liking it too. That's all I hear. All I hear is good things about this running back room. So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
pretty awesome.
Should
So
be excited. It's gonna be a fun year to watch for that group.
nice. So camp's coming up, right? So walk me through this. What's different about fall camp versus like spring camp?
So it's the same. Essentially, it's like same practices, except for fall camp, you're getting a whole lot more time allocated to meetings. So you'll meet a whole lot more, and then you'll meet again, and then you'll meet again, and then you'll practice, and you'll meet again. It's just it's a lot of meetings for as opposed to spring. Spring, you just have one meeting, one practice, and then you're out of there. But they want to get things right, and you want to perfect like your craft before you go into the season. So obviously, you're gonna need to meet a lot more, and you're gonna need to talk things out.
Awesome. So like what kind of advantage do you like those like some of these freshmen, right, were early enrollees in the spring? Uh Now that you're kind of on the other side of the coin, getting spring and fall, right? Like what kind of advantage do those guys that have come in for early as an early enrollee, what kind of advantage do those guys have over people coming in, freshmen or transfers coming in the fall?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you have another like spring, obviously getting more like physical, like actually repping it out and doing the physical, like running the play and stuff helps so much. Like having a spring to get the whole offense down or defense down, whatever you're doing helps a lot. But I mean, even if you're new, you have fall camp. So I mean, you're getting plenty of reps, but it doesn't hurt to early enroll and get your reps in, get the offense down. So you're just coming into fall camp with knowledge already.
Right. And I do think, but also on the other hand too, like academically, because what's nice about what you had is you had a semester to kind of see what it's like academically, right? And then prepare to balance uh right academics with athletics, right? And some of these kids are kind of jump they get right into it right away. But what's your experience been with like balancing school with athletics, right? I know you're a smart guy. I know you got it taken care of, but
Yeah.
what's different about it, right?
No, yeah, being a walk on is different. It's definitely hard to like manage because I got the first semester no football and just doing school, and that alone was like, I mean, it's not a walk in the park. Like second semester going with football and stuff was, it's difficult, but I mean, they offer like they have academics people and you can get like a tutor or whatever that can help out, which has been really beneficial to me. And then it's not impossible. You just have to find time elsewhere to get your work in. I mean, if you want to stay on the team as a walk-on, you have to, or else, I mean, your GPA is not, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Totally. And yeah, it's definitely important. So what are you majoring in actually right now?
Finance.
Finance. Nice, dude. Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, know a ton of people majoring in finance. It's a great school. It's a great place to do it. Well,
Yeah.
look, it's a great school to do anything, right? I think we can all agree on that. So,
Amen.
amen. So, you talked a little bit about, going onto the field right during that Alabama game and kind of just being like, yeah, I want to be here, right?
Yeah.
So, what's it? So then what changed from that moment? Like, do you still feel the same way when you walk onto that field now? Or is it like, does it have a new meaning for you now that you're a part of it?
It's cool to be a part of for sure, but I feel like I still have the same mindset. It's like I feel like I still can make it make a difference. Like I feel like I can make an impact, whether that's on like whether it's doing my role on like scout or like special teams is one big goal for me this year that I'm hoping to try and get a role on, because last year I was close, but this year I have more knowledge of like I have another year under my belt, so I'm trying to like make a difference, and I still feel like the same love for the game that I did even when I wasn't on the team.
Yeah. So that's like, I'd imagine also too, like, because people are like, oh yeah, you take it in right for a moment. But I would imagine that like at competition of that level, once you're on the field, it probably feels like, spring game, even if you're practicing on Kyle Field, like as like a practice or whatever. I would imagine that the mindset changes a little bit and the adrenaline is just in and,
Yeah,
it's hard to take in when you're like, what do I got to do next? What do I need to do to help everyone else? So I'd imagine that it's definitely different. It's definitely,
yeah,
definitely
it's a
different.
wake up call when you go from doing nothing to going against the best athletes in the world at their respective sport. It's a little it's but once you yeah it's different, but
Yeah. How are practices different from high school? Like I'm genuinely curious. I know there's like more coaching staff, so they could probably get more done. But like, what are some specific things that are different about collegiate practice versus high school?
it's a lot longer. Um there's it's a lot more focused. You have like different every period is something different. You have it's a lot more organized than I would say high school was. It's a lot more organized. You have direction, like this period's this is this. Everyone goes here during this, and then break, and then this. It's a lot more laid out and better scheduled, as expected. I mean, it's a D1 like university.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, they expect a lot out of you guys for sure. And well, I think everyone expects great things from this team because there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of great culture going on. You already talked about that. I think everyone was excited after the spring game. You guys did such an awesome job. Uh, what else is there to know? I mean, I look, you've done a great job this interview. I really want to thank you for coming on. Uh,
Appreciate it.
I'm sure other people have. If there was other people here, they'd also have more questions for you. You're always such a
It's
great
all good.
talk. Great talk. Great
Yeah,
hang. Thanks for joining me, man.
appreciate it, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.